Oh, we're both. We love our theme song.
We love our opening. We like to dance, right?
Yes, even when we're not together.
It doesn't matter. We could just like
exactly.
Oh
Welcome
God,
to
we got the weather today. That's right.
Welcome to If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts Tim Moss and
Wendy Stuart. How are you, everybody? We all survived that horrible hurricane. I mean,
oh my God.
Damn, we didn't know this was coming.
Right? We went out to dinner that night over in Queens and had to cross the Bronx.
You did
the Cross Bronx.
The PQE, which I heard was flooded.
Well, the Cross Bronx was like 7-8 feet of water in the lower parts. It was insane. It was so crazy. I'd never seen anything like that in New York.
I lived by 79th Street. They were rescuing people from the FDR Drive from their cars. There were cars were floating in the FDR, which, you know what? Don't even get me started. Why were there no warnings? Nothing. Did you?
Right.
You were out to dinner.
I was busy. We had the show in the afternoon, and I had to run out. I had just got back from Florida, so from doing our gig down there, and I had to run to get a COVID test. Then we did our show. Then I had to get ready because we were going out to dinner with friends over to this new restaurant that our friend opened. And I never turned on the TV. I never checked. I was like, okay, it's gonna rain, big deal.
Right. and there you go, and the rest is history. Well, we survived the storm. We're all here today.
Yes, you are at PANGEA.
I am broadcasting live from PANGEA. They have a full schedule of amazing performers here.
Yeah.
Please go online, check them out. We also have the GoFundMe still running. It's been tough times for restaurants in New York. There is the GoFundMe right there, but I cannot emphasize enough the amount of talent that they have here.
Right.
Given night now, not to mention the fabulous food. So please make sure you come on down.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry I'm not there to join you, but for one thing, you and I have a show tonight that we're doing.
Tell everybody about the show we're doing tonight.
Well, but firstly, I had dental work done yesterday, and the side of my mouth and the side of my tongue, because your tongue is constantly going boink, 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 boink. It's all swollen in here. So hopefully I can sing tonight. So I thought I better just stay home and rest just a little bit longer, but I think I'll be okay. But tonight, Jackie Dupree has asked Ike Avelli, Wendy Stuart, Francisco, and myself to perform at her show at Mr. Biggs. It's at 43rd and 10th Avenue. Wendy and I go on at 7:00, and then Ike and Fran go on at 9:00. So be sure to come out to Mr. Biggs, grab a bite to eat, sit, have a couple drinks, and watch some fabulous.
We promise that we will let us entertain you.
Yes, and we're even doing a little duet type of thing together.
Tim and I are doing a duet. That's right. So we have fun in store for everybody.
Absolutely. Speaking of fun.
Speaking of fun, so I'm just going to roll it in this way. We're having a really huge event on Saturday to honor 9/11, hosted by Soho Johnny through his Let Me Help Foundation and then the Operation Warrior Shield Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim will be on the red carpet. I will be on the red carpet. And one of the amazing people that was behind this incredible
main producer of it,
thing that they're doing is a guy, I can't say enough about him. First of all, I met him doing a pilot. He's got incredible energy. He's got wild hair. One piece of wild hair in the front. He is a well-known session drummer, music director, solo artist, known for a project he did called Drumageddon, which he's going to tell you all about. He's really good looking too. Without further ado, I would love for you to meet Charlie Z, also known as Drumageddon.
Yay!
Yes. Wow, good looking too. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah.
Is that good enough?
Love it.
You're super special, so I wanted to make sure you had a good interview.
No, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. This whole thing is amazing. It was awesome meeting you at the Soho Johnny pilot and everything for Soho at Night. That's a really cool show that it's going to be hopefully shipping soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed on that one and everything. That was a ton of fun. And Tim, great to see you again. It's been a million years and everything. It's great. This is awesome. But yeah, the 9/11 benefit show is going to be so amazing and special. It's got talent from absolutely every sector. We have music, we have fashion, we have food, we have fun. We have Felipe Rose from Village People coming.
Yes. And he's a Sledge.
Yeah, it's insane. We've got Kim Sledge from Sister Sledge.
Yeah, I love Kim.
You know, Krisha Turner, the multi-platinum artist, and we have American Idol and voice singers Manny Cabo and Ali Guercio, and you know, actor Leon Robinson from Cool Runnings, and Joey Belladonna from Anthrax, Avalona, Bob Kinkle from Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Wow.
It goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
I love it.
Drumageddon. As you know, I'm basically playing with all the artists. I'm music directing the whole night. I'm producing it, and then I'm headlining on my own set because you know I blew up in the past year of the pandemic. I got 12 million views and plays, and I got 6 million on the latest single, which is crazy.
It's so
incredible.
As a session artist, how did this happen? You know?
Oh God!
You explode. What do you think? You exploded.
I'm still going to explode too. It's going to keep on going up and up and up.
Yeah, we're about that.
But no, that's a really good question. So a lot of people ask, like, how did this whole Cyborg drummer DJ thing get together and everything? It's well, I got a call many years ago from an artist named Out of Sight. He was a multi-platinum Warner Brothers artist, and he had hits on Z100 and everything. He had a hit called Tonight Is the Night. And the music director and the label called me, hey, can you jump in? We need you to be a Cyborg drummer for him. I was like, yeah, sure. What's that? And they're like, okay, so we need you to DJ, drum, run backing tracks, sing backup, hype the crowd, all simultaneously with triggers and pads and everything.
Tim's face.
I'm like,
Bye.
yeah, I'll do that. I hung up the phone. No joke. I hung up the phone. I went, oh, crap. None of the gear at all. I ran to Guitar Center and I bought like hundreds of dollars worth of gear. I went through and looked at YouTube videos and manuals the whole week, didn't sleep, and I showed up to the first rehearsal, got through. Second rehearsal was the college warm-up show, and then we opened for Bon Jovi.
Oh my God.
Nothing like getting your feet wet to that degree. Now, can you just like break down what you do as like, give us the example. I want to get the picture in my mind of what you're doing.
Okay, so I mean, just to get the picture, I mean, you can kind of see back here. Yeah. That is a massive, massive, crazy drum set behind me.
God.
Yeah, and so basically, everything is, so I have a drum set that's a hybrid of electronics and acoustic. So I play tribal drums on top of my own remixes, my own original tracks, and other people's remixes. I have a mic and I hype the crowd. I jump, I scream. I play drums behind my head. It's like a really crazy, I'll jump on the bass drum and scream and hit a drum. I run around the crowd. It's like really, really crazy and visceral.
Do you need a certain kind of brain? Like, is there something that's special about your brain, do you think?
Yes, I'm crazy. We already know that. So.
A little insanity helps.
A little insanity, no. But there's an element of, I have, as I was mentioning earlier when we were talking off camera, I've played with everyone. You know, I've played with, Gala at the Olympics. I've played with Thalia in all of her commercials. I've done jazz at Lincoln Center and Carnegie Hall. I've played rock of Ages at sold out Giant Stadium, MetLife Stadium.
Oh my God.
Everything. I played everything with everyone. And at this point, it's like, okay, what else is next? Where do I go from here? What's the next thing? And that's when this, out of sight thing came, and I became like, okay, I'm kind of doing this Cyborg drummer thing. And it was really visceral, and it was really exciting to be able to do all this stuff myself. Little by little, I was like, wait a second, instead of doing it for all these other people now, I can probably just do this myself with my own friends, singers that are all in American Idol and The Voice, and get a couple musicians just on my records if I feel like it. I just produce and write and do everything myself on all my tracks and do all my videos and all that anyway. Why not just try to do this live, myself? And over the past year, I went from basically being, just doing this in the background to releasing the 7 tunes on the record. And, the 12 million plays and views. It's been I mean, New York Times, American Songwriter Magazine. I got on the NFL Network on Sirius XM because it's a sports anthem. They interviewed me. They played it. I was like, that's crazy.
Crazy. Charlie, do you think you have discovered a new art form? That's what it sounds like. Because who else is doing this?
I know there are a couple of people, there are some friends in LA, there's a couple of people in New York, but they don't really do it to this level. They'll either just play some, drums on top of a DJ playing, or they'll just, do something just for the visual. Whereas I'm actually doing everything a DJ does live for real. I'm mixing everything together, and I'm running the tracks, I'm running the lights, I'm running the video screens, I'm running the whole production.
God.
Yeah, and that's why this was so easy for me to jump into 9/11. It's because this is what I do for every other artist and gig. Yeah.
Right. You're like the ultimate multitasker.
Absolutely. You take multitasking to a new level.
Yeah. It's all up here. It's all up here. So.
But the thing that amazes me is you were challenged. I think you like challenges.
Oh, yes.
You were challenged with this. I need the definition of cyborg drummer exactly. We'll get back to that. But you're challenged to do not only play and perform, which is difficult and requires enough focus and attention on its own, but to add DJing, add visual effects, add to layer the music or to layer the beats on top. I mean,
yeah, it's
wow. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around that. All of those are all complex things on their own, and you're bringing them all together and doing them all at the same time.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing.
Is that what cyborg drummer is?
Cyborg, so a cyborg is basically like Terminator from Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's half man, half robot. So the idea is that's the idea, which is basically I'm doing the human side with the tribal drums and the electronic side with the DJing and the whole thing. And then From the Future is just a funny little tagline I put out in front because I love The Matrix, Blade Runner, Cyberpunk, all those films and everything. And it's almost like if my favorite drummer of all time is Buddy Rich. So he's the classic jazz drummer. Unbelievable. Yeah. And he was playing the pop music of his time, right? And the pop music of his time was dance music for swing dance. He was the top drummer because he was the best. And what I'm doing is kind of the gritty reboot of Buddy Rich. So if Buddy Rich lived today, he'd look like this. He'd play this kind of crazy kit. And he would play the pop dance music of today, which is what I play. And that's really the general thing.
So again, back to cyborg drummer. So it's a combination of human with the digital, which digital being, I mean, everything now is digital.
Yep.
I mean, and then I see a true artist like yourself with that incredible drum set behind you, because most people, so many now think, oh, let me press this button and the beat will come. They don't get the real talent of actually creating that beat on a persistent and continuous level. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's the thing too. So there's DJs who produce, and then there are DJs who just show up and DJ. Like Paris Hilton is considered a DJ, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's a celebrity. She has a big name. She worked really hard for it, and she's a badass businesswoman. But she does do the thing where she'll just show up, press play, move her hand up and down or whatever, and it's a pre-programmed set. Whereas if you go to someone like, I don't know.
If you go to David Guetta,
those are the guys.
Bronson, those are all, I'm into all of that music.
Yes, and me too.
Are all producers.
And I love that they produce at the highest level. They know how to write a song. They know great vocals. They also do the live show, and they can mix on the fly. Like, oh, wow, the crowd loves this part. Let me loop it. So the way that I built my setup here is it's a half-seated drum set, like a normal drum set. Then there's a half-standing kit, and then there are the drums behind the head. And as I'm doing it, there's trigger pads that I'm able to DJ. So if there's a section that the crowd really likes, I let it loop another bunch of times, and I interact with the crowd.
Yeah, and you control that.
Everything's live.
Based upon the audience reaction.
100%. So it's full out. And the cool part about this 9/11 show is all the artists that are jumping on, I'm playing with. and I'm able to just sit back on some of them if they're acoustic. I'm able to do like really rock out with some of the classic rock acts. The disco, I'm going to really give it a nice beat and everything. But I'm able to trigger all of their backing tracks while playing, hosting, you know, with Johnny and everyone else and everything.
Wow.
And just being able to.
So cool. We are going to get to see Drumageddon live, okay, with all of these incredible artists, and actually everything that you're talking about here, we are going to get to see live. That's I am very into the music world in terms of, I know all of my techno DJs. That's music I listen to day and night, literally. To many people, that all sounds like the same tones all the time. For me, I can separate the sounds and everything. To be able to see what you're going to do on Saturday is absolutely everything to me.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, and I do want to address that too. There's a lot of interesting things to unpack. So I was actually, the way that I got into DJing on that side, I was an organic acoustic musician as a drummer. You know, that's my instrument of, you know, and I can play some keyboard, piano, I sing, I can play a little guitar and bass to produce. But I never really got heavy into the electronics until that big gig, you know, with that site when I had to really, I always wanted to get into it. I always did it. I wound up touring with him. We did Lollapalooza, we did Warped Tour, we did all these big festivals, and toured with 303 and Cobra Starship and Gym Class Heroes on the bill and everything. So everyone was using hybrid, you know, electronic, acoustic kind of things. But what I noticed is we hit the Warped Tour, and that's a traditionally punk, you know, pop punk kind of a tour. We were on the dance music stage they tried out that year with a bunch of DJs. I befriended the DJs, and one day it clicked, and I saw DJing totally different, because I was like, oh yeah, you know, guy who presses a button and everyone kind of dances. It went from band on the stage and crowd playing, you know, crowd watching, like watching, to, oh my God, it's almost like a Woodstock experience where everyone was jamming together. Oh, that's what the DJ thing clicked, and I was like, oh my God, that's what it's about. And that's when I started to go, like, let me learn the technology. Let me learn Ableton. Let me get my laptop with all the plugins. Let me, you know, make sure I have the songs that sound like in the genres that we're doing. And that's when I built this kit and all that. And shout out to Pearl Drums, Pisces Cymbals, Vickford Sticks, Evans Drumheads, tons of other endorsers. Love you guys. But yeah.
Charlie, what you're talking about is really the immersive experience. That is what you can create for people. We've had Scott Page on the show, who
she's great.
I know, I figured, but you know, I have to tell you, technically, I was never even aware that this could be done. I'm going to ask you an off-the-cuff question, because that's the kind of girl I am. If a person has ADD, they're better at this.
I mean, I think it's kind of, there's a little bit of ADD in this in general, I would say, because there's an element of, well, I'll put it to you this way. It's almost like a hyper focus, because I've played drums so much for so many people. I can do it with one hand and one foot, and I've actually done that. Like, I've had gigs where I've music directed major artists, and basically I'm playing with one hand and one foot. I'm cueing people on stage, I'm running tracks, I'm singing backup, I'm, you know, hyping the crowd, I'm hosting, and then the management company is literally texting me, and I'm texting back as I'm doing all that. So that's the level that I've gotten to as a musician and an artist, producer, music director. So this kind of a thing is just the natural progression of, let's see how much more I can do, you know, because I don't want to get stale and just being able to, you know, and there's nothing wrong with just drumming. I mean, I've been drumming forever.
Of course.
Until like the age of 7, and it's crazy, like so many years. But having this solo, and the other thing that's really cool about the solo thing is I don't have to deal with anyone else.
Yes.
I've worked with crews of hundreds of people. I've worked with, you know, crazy artists, crazy management, crazy labels and everything. And it's just me. I know that I'm always going to, you know, do the best thing in the world if I control the audio and I control the visual of what I'm doing. And then whoever jumps on with me is just cherry on top. You know, that's why it's been really refreshing on that. But ADD, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of ADHD, I guess, too. But it's really the hyper focus. It
is a
absolutely.
It's a hyper focus art. So when you were that 7-year-old kid playing the drums, was there any inkling of this in your personality?
Oh yeah. So before I even started drumming,
Oh yeah.
entrepreneur, before they even coined it that at that age, I remember being in 4th grade in grammar school. 3rd grade. It was 3rd grade. And my mom gave me these little labels. These were labels that had a white front and then just the sticky back. And you can draw things on them. She's like, oh, here, have fun with these. I brought all my friends over. I was like, wait a second, let's start a sticker business. So what I did was I set up a sticker factory with me and 5 of my friends. We would make all these different stickers. They were really crappy and they were just poorly drawn, but we would sell them in school. And each of these individual stickers would go for 5, 10, 15, 25 cents. Teachers started buying them. Oh, these are great. This is awesome. I get called in the principal's office. I'm like, hi, how's it going? And like, you know why you're here? It's like, no, I don't know why. He's like, Charlie, you can't sell stickers. It's like, oh, why? Do you want some? He's like, no, you can't do that on school premises. So I was already like always wanting to do cool things with tons of people initially at an early age. And then when I got the sticks in my hand, I was always putting bands together, friends, you know, in the basement, in high school, all that. Recording and you know, it's all been there. So yeah.
Isn't it amazing? Because I would imagine that you probably had the passion for it and you're like, come on, let's start a band. Let's start a group. And you find out that this one really falls away. He's not that interested. And you're wondering like, why? You know, aren't you as excited about it as I am? You know what I mean? And
that happens to this very day too, Tim. It's really funny to see people who have been in the business, you know, a short, medium, or a long time. Sometimes they just don't get it. And they don't get as excited over something that you should be really excited about. I mean, we got on a Times Square billboard because of, you know, some friends of mine. And I cut all the video up together and I was putting all the artists up and everything. And it's just the coolest thing. And it's just, oh my God, you know, we're all on a Times Square billboard. And, you know, certain people are like, oh my God, that's amazing. There's a ton of people that are, holy crap. And there's a couple of people, it's like, oh, but that's the wrong clip or this. It's like, oh my God.
I really don't feel that at all. Your enthusiasm and energy is infectious.
Absolutely. Okay. I want to work with you so bad.
I'm in. Whatever you guys need. We're all in the family now. Anytime.
Well, the time I met you, it was like, whoa, he's electric the way I am because I can burn out anybody.
Yes, you can.
This guy has got like incredible energy, enthusiasm, but you're so positive. That is what we need now, Tim, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. We need that positive energy to be put out into the universe. Absolutely. You're watching If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tim Moss, and our amazingly brilliant guest, Charlie Z, also known as Drumageddon. Your brain. I love your brain.
I know, you have to will it.
I want to get into the drum set behind you in a little while.
Yeah.
But so when you were saying when you were 7, did your parents like buy you a drum set, or was it a drum set at school, or how did you discover your passion for that? Because that's that comes from an interesting place in the brain too. Not everybody has that where you can hold a steady beat for all these other instruments to join. Like a drum is a base of, it's the driving force of a song.
So that's a great question. So when I was picking instruments, it was either going to be saxophone or drums.
Interesting.
And when I was a kid, I was like, okay, these are both the cool instruments that I would like to play. I listened to the radio for a couple of weeks and I went, I don't hear sax on a lot of these songs. I want to do the thing that I could play anything with, so I'm going to do the drums. And I picked the drums, and it was also way cheaper initially because it was a $15 pad with, you know, $5 sticks. It was $20, and the sax was like $600.
Right.
And now I'm into like, holy crap, the amount of drums that I have. It's like way different, you know, budget wise. But that was the initial thought, which is pretty smart. And that's the other thing too. Like I've always been, I grew up with, you know, working class parents and everything. And I'm actually the first of my whole family to go to a 4-year college, which is really, really cool. And they really fostered my intelligence and really pushed me. Initially, I was in regular classes in grammar school. And in middle school, they really tried to push me into the advanced classes. And mid-middle school is when I kind of got into this advanced track. And then it basically gave me a better education because those teachers look at the students that are smarter And this is in studies.
Well, it's gifted and talented. That's what they call it, gifted and talented.
Yeah, gifted and talented.
And feed that.
Yeah,
Right.
and it got me to do things like I got waitlisted to Princeton, and I got into NYU for grad school for jazz drum set, and it was all because of the track that I was given, the encouragement and positivity, right. And it got me to that level. But that initial inkling was just such a smart idea. I really thank little Charlie for going like drums instead of sax. Because I love the sax players who had to work, and I can always work because everyone wants drums. Period. Right.
And also, I mean, there's drums in every song, even if it's a boom, boom,
right?
Boom, or if it's crash.
Yeah,
Charlie,
that's it.
You from a working class background. I am too, and the thing about working class backgrounds, right? The parents always want the kids to have something they can fall back on. It's not usually drummer, okay?
God, when I actually, because the other half of the family is doctors and nurses and that whole thing. So when I told the family, I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm going to do drums. They're like, no, you're not. What are you doing? It's like, no, but I'm good at it. And like, yeah, but just some doctor, lawyer, anything, you're smart, dude.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to do this drummer thing. It's going to be great. And it took me like many, 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 many years. I think it was after I played Giant Stadium, sold out for 82,500.
Wow.
Is when one family member that I'm not going to name finally got off my case. Oh, you should get a real job, kind of a thing, And I said, well, maybe you should just do Broadway because at least they have steady gigs. I'm like,
oh my God.
It's like, guys, I just played Giant Stadium, sold out. I'm good, and I do play Broadway. I've done Broadway. I've done everything at this point. So it's really cool.
You are way too imaginative to be stuck in one genre.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the general vibe and everything. But but bringing it all together has been one of the coolest things in the world. And what's happening is with this whole 9/11 thing, I just my birthday is coming up, and it's on the 18th of September, and I was like, throw another big headlining show in New York City. It'd be great now that I blew up and everything's really great. And I paired together with Shitty Princess. She's LA DJ. She's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I had asked who that was because I love the name. When I was looking at the roster of people, I'm like, Shitty Princess, what a great name.
Amazing. And she is such a great DJ. She's a great friend. We've worked together for, a while now, for a couple of years. And, let's throw a show. And as we're throwing the show and piecing it together, I run into John Velasco, who I've, worked with for 10, 12 years. And, I'm hanging out with, Soho Johnny and Eileen and everything. We get to talking. And I'm like, wait, I just did the November gig with them. I did the virtual concert right here. I did the virtual concert on this big kit right here. And I was like, wait a second, you guys are going to do something for 9/11, right? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, 9/11, we should do something. Oh, yeah. Like, what? Oh, my God, it's the 20th anniversary, guys. Oh, my God, it's during Fashion Week. Let's just, they're like, yeah, let's do it. We all went, full out 2 months ago, and we put it all together. Now we have literally, it's a red carpet. You guys are on, obviously, from 5 to 7. We've got a full choreographed dance fashion show, which is insane. And with that, we have Hisham Benz from the Royals Paris. He's the designer. He's doing 2 of my brands, which is Drumageddon Couture, which is the upcycle of my merch, and then Get Tough Athletic Wear, which is Get Tough Like Rocky, Enough Excuses Baby, is what's on there, right? And Shitty Princess Pink Label is what he's going to be doing. And then we have the choreographer from Broadway Dance Center. She's amazing. Her name's Leah, and she created a brand called Leotards, which is leotards, right? So it's just leotards that are custom fit for girls with, different proportions, we'll say.
Oh my God. I love her. I can't wait to meet her. That's
exactly. So she's there. But the whole thing is, so we have that. We have a silent auction. There's tons of pieces of art that are amazing. We had 2 multi-$1,000 donations the other day from a famous artist, and they're going to be there. We have sports memorabilia silent auction. Then we also have the concert itself with all these celebrities from 7 to 11. It's at Roomy Event Space, 229 West 28th Street.
I was just going to say, how can people find out more about it or
tickets
to get
available?
tickets?
And it's on all the socials. It's on letmehelp.org. letmehelpinc.org. It's on sohojohnny.com. It's on all my socials. But, everyone's there. Again, you have Felipe Rose, Village People, Kim Sledge, Sister Sledge. We have Fred Schneider, B-52s, Broadway star Nick Burrows, Michelle Schacht, singer-songwriter, Randy Edelman. We have Maple Rose Gabrielle and Kulik.
Had her on, right?
And Wendy Stuart Tym Moss. We got Katie King. It's going to be the craziest thing in the world. It's so exciting because it all came together very fast.
I love it.
Huffington Post is showing up. We just found out. We got on a Times Square billboard. We're being projected on an entire building.
I saw the billboard. It was up on social media. I'm like, whoa, that is like
crazy. Now we're going to be projected on the side of a building. We're on Z100 this week. All this stuff is happening just from the goodness, and every member of this whole team, all the celebrities are doing this pro bono for free for the charity.
Nice.
And proceeds go to, obviously, Let Me Help Inc. is the main charity, but all the portions of the proceeds go to Operation Warrior Shield, which gives service dogs to first responders and to veterans. And we did that because
Charlie, I had reached out to you about, because we've been working on a film for a couple of years. It's called Working Dogs, A Love Story. It is about those very dogs. The dogs that are working, the dogs that are service. And when you read the stories about these dogs, it totally blows you away. I am personally very excited to meet the people that will be there from Operation Warrior Shield.
I'll make sure you meet Ed. Ed is awesome.
We have a bunch of people, Charlie. I just want to tell you, shout outs here. Teresa Sabin, Nick Lyon.
I didn't even notice the comments here. That's awesome.
Well, unfortunately, I have a hard time seeing, but here we go.
Well, I'll get a few of them here.
And shout out to Jimmy Starr, Eileen Shapiro, Rocky Kramer. Basically they're on, obviously.
Jimmy Starr loves it. Ronaldo, Nengo Rivera,
Nick Lyon. Nick Lyon says, "Love Drumageddon's hair. I might have to try that. Can't wait to see him on the 9/11 benefit."
But the other response is, it's made from the tears of my enemies. It's either or, depending on who I talk to. Billy has says, great guy and very talented.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's the best, too. No, Billy is an amazing photographer. He's going to be performing. Shh, don't tell anyone.
I know. I heard that Billy's going to be performing. We adore Billy. He's I didn't know that he sang.
No, the whole crew is amazing. But the whole thing, it's so cool that it all came together so quickly. And the reason is because I think everyone is so... We're the only game in town. And that's the crazy thing that I noticed. So there was only So we're the only 9/11 charity music and fashion benefit in New York City, in Manhattan, actually on the day, the 20th anniversary. On the 12th, there's a comedy-only show with Pete Davidson and Jon Stewart at MSG, right? Okay. They did a full outdoor thing in Jones Beach on the 21st of August, and they did another one at Central Park on the 21st for COVID being over kind of thing, even though it's not. But we're the only game in town. I don't know why no one wanted to touch it, but for me, it was very simple. Like 20 years ago, 3,000 people passed away from 9/11.
Right.
And 20 years now to the day, we have 53,000 people in New York City from COVID who passed away. And to honor all the memories of all these people, that's why we're doing. We're ground zero twice in a row in 20 years.
Yeah, right.
And we're still here. We're still strong. And that's what Get Tough is all about. Get tough like Rocky. Enough excuses, baby. It's me. It's Manny Cabo, the singer from The Voice and La Voz. And it's the horns from Rihanna and Kanye, All the Lights. Right? It's Danny Flam. And it's Dave Egger from Coldplay, who did the strings for Lolita. And Al Cardi, the bass player from Christina Aguilera. And he played with David Guetta. And we have the mastering engineer on that one who did Diplo, Major Lazer, Lean On. So these really, really major people jumped on. And the song is all about overcoming all adversity against all odds.
Nice.
It's Rocky, it's that same thing. You want to root for the underdog, and then even if you lose, you still win, like in the first film. Yeah. And that's where we're at. We're trying to do everything we can for the memory of 9/11, for COVID, overcoming that. And we're putting a lot of emotional moments in there, but a lot of positivity, a lot of fun, a lot of real amazing intensity from all the different artists. And it's going to be amazing. Joey Belladonna from Anthrax is on there too. I'm trying to think of everyone else. It's crazy. So many people.
But you know what? You're talking about bringing community together and using creativity, using the arts to do that. Okay. You've said it a whole bunch of times through the program. This one jumped on. That one jumped on. Most people I know that are creative in that world, they all want to give back in some way. And how wonderful to be given the opportunity to do that, really, to use your art to give back. What could be better? And
that's the coolest thing. And we're doing it for all the right reasons and all the people that are coming through. It's really humbling. Like Johnny and I talk all the time about this. Soho Johnny Pasquale, we're sitting down going like, we can't believe, like we're humbled by the amount of people and the talent. I just counted up because I'm doing all the production and the backstage and then the red carpet and all the lists and everyone put it together. I just counted there are 40 people plus on stage already. There are 40 people plus in just the crew for the behind the scenes, and then there's got to be like 100 people on the red carpet. There's got to be another 50 to 100 press coming, and then there's all the tickets and all the people selling, you know, the bottle service and the VIPs, and the general admission. This is going to be a massive, massive event. We're live streaming it worldwide. It's crazy. Like the whole thing is so cool.
Worldwide. Wow. How cool is that?
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you're watching If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss, and our amazing guest, Charlie Z, also known as Drumageddon. And the more we talk, the more impressed I am with you. So why don't we take a look at a video of you in action? And then we're going to come back, and I might even ask you to sit behind the drum set if you don't mind, and kind of walk us through some of the sounds and what goes on in your head when you're playing.
A little demo.
Life hits real hard, knocking you out. And when you're down, can't turn it around. Get tough, get tough, get tough, get tough like Rocky. Oh, enough excuses, baby. Get tough like Rocky. Oh, enough excuses, baby. Yeah, get tough. Don't start to cry. Ain't nobody cares. You're on your own. Go fight away your fears. Get tough, get tough, get tough, get tough like Rocky. Oh, enough excuses, baby. Yeah. Bring it. Give me all your power, give me all your truth, give me all your triumph, 'cause I ain't gonna
Yes.
Charlie, my body hurts from watching this.
Same. Literally the same.
I want to go out and do all these extreme sports right now.
I know,
That's so fun.
right?
I mean, that's the thing. So this song came together in such a crazy way.
Oh.
I wound up like just writing it on, my laptop, and I put, some horns down. I put, and I started looping around. It's like, oh, I have a lyric idea, and I had a kind of melody idea. It's like, oh, this is cool. It's like, wait a second. Get tough. Yeah, get tough. Okay, get tough like what? Like Rocky. And I looked it up. It's like someone had to have written a Rocky song already. Somebody had to have done like moves like Jagger, Maroon 5, or like, that kind of a thing, or Barbra Streisand, that old 90s tune. No one has touched Rocky before. I was like, I'll take that. I put the lyric down, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get my buddy Manny to sing it. He's
I was just going to say the vocals by Manny Pavo.
Unbelievable. I mean, I wrote all the vocals and lyrics and everything myself and everything, and I gave him the parts. But he's this really amazing, buff, awesome dude. He's got his own podcast, Mojo for Musicians. Shout out to him. But he crushed the vocal. We did all the harmonies.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
And also.
Powerful.
But I mean, but the video is just, again, all these extreme sports, which is the epitome of the strength of a human. What a human can do is remarkable, and
it's insane. And I try to tick all the best clips that I do really crazy things in there too to match. But I mean, I basically cut together filmmakers from all over the world, sending me all the clips and everything. And it took me months, but I cut everything up myself, almost like this grand ballet of just video. Like, okay, this flip is going to go directly into this flip. And then this person is going to be here. Okay, we need to have more girls over here. We need more guys over here. I want to have this flip happen. So it's this real crazy give and take where if you look at it, it's like, that is one of the craziest videos I've ever seen.
No, but the energy in that video, and what was so amazing to me? You had to be right there with them, and you were every minute. Every cut to you was this high energy as these people on skateboards, flipping, skis, going up and down. The drumming was on that level, and that's what makes it so powerful.
Absolutely. And the song, like Rocky, just pumps you up and pumps you up and pumps you up and pumps you up. Where you're just like, yes!
That's it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, holy crap, I got to hit the gym.
Yeah, right.
I know. Holy crap. I'm just sitting here drumming and whatever, but no, it's very intense. But I had to overcome. So the second, I did a lyric video before this that was supposed to be the music video. And it was a reverse Rocky theme, and it's already up and everything. It's on the YouTube at Drumageddon, DRMAGDN at YouTube. It's a lyric video where I took all the Rocky montage, videos of him training, and I did it with girls. So it's a girl power thing, and they're punching, they're kicking, they're doing all this stuff and really training hard. And it came out so cool. I even used like the Nike font as the lyrics and everything. Came out amazing. And I looked at it and was like, oh crap, but now that was supposed to be the music video, and I realized now that's going to be the lyric video. I've got to do something even more than that now, and that's what this video came out. Let's see how crazy I can get.
I love it. Well, I love your craziness. It's awesome. Keep going crazy.
I love a video that you did like that with women. That is so powerful and so much needed. How do you commercially get that out there? Do you pitch it to Nike? What is the way?
So that's what we've been doing. So through John Velasco, MD25, I have a deal with him. I'm now represented by Sony BMG for publishing and distribution on the back end. And all of us, plus, I've got a team of Momo Entertainment, which is Morgan Perry. Shout out to her. She helps me with a bunch of digital and marketing things and PR. Julia Farron, who is actually, she's freaking amazing. So she is, you've seen the movie Jerry Maguire, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's a real person, and she's the vice president of his company. She signed on with me because of this song. She does a lot of sports marketing already. So she's the one who helped get me on to, the Sirius NFL channel, being interviewed by David Dahl, the New York Giants Hall of Famer. Like, just these things are just surreal because usually musicians or artists or whatever don't get these kinds of opportunities. This song and each song has its own like trajectory. Like American Songwriter Magazine took my acoustic-y Avicii Wake Me Up song, Not Alone, with Jeremy O'Shea from Velvet Revolver.
Okay.
They put me in there. It was Nile Rodgers from Chic, and then it was Alan Jackson, the country star, and then Drumageddon with Not Alone. Like, I was, what?
Oh my God.
These things, so I'm just beside my, like, because I've been playing and producing and music directing and drumming for everyone, and I've done things myself a bit, but I never really like tripled down on stuff. And now that I am, all the success is happening. It's surreal. It's so cool. It's fun. And I'm just like, how the hell did that happen? You know,
Look when it's happening.
Nile Rodgers, cool, man.
Look when it's happening. The worst, really one of the worst times in history. And you are like bigger than life now, right? So what do people learn from this? You got to go for it.
Yes.
Okay? You got to get tough and you got to go for it. You cannot let anything stop you. And that defines you, Charlie.
Right. It's almost at a time where either you get it rough or you die.
Right.
You just go away.
Right.
You know, and I love it. I love that. Just a few things. Scotty Valentine, hi Scotty, love you too. Had just said Charlie Z rocks. You're live in London, because I think he's in London right now.
Nice.
Teresa Sabin just says you rock.
I love her.
Teresa's great.
She's a great
Jimmy
supporter
Starr,
of her show. I love her.
Jimmy Starr and Ron Russell say awesome.
Yeah, they're the greatest too. I can't wait to do the Jimmy Starr show. That's next up too. And
We're just Jimmy and Ron. We're just warming him up for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Just warming him
it's
up.
like the opening act and everything. No, it's really just the amount of talent and the amount of people with you guys, everyone in the Soho Johnny crew, everyone, and that's the coolest part about working with everyone here. Everyone really has their heart in the right spot.
Yeah.
They're really good people, and everyone wants to do these really big positive things, and that's my whole MO. Period.
And we want everyone around us to do these things too. You know, we're just supporting. I love to support everybody.
Yeah.
Likewise.
And it's about raising everybody else up as well. That's
Absolutely.
what people don't realize. It is not a competition.
Nope.
We all have our own lane we can run in. Let's bring everybody with us.
Absolutely.
It's much better when you're watching success of everyone around you.
Absolutely. Now, Charlie Z, also known as Drumageddon.
Yeah.
Can you, I don't know if you can move your camera or anything, or it's fine right there, but would you mind sitting down at the drum set? And I mean, all of how many things that you can hit are on there?
So you'll be able to get a better idea on the situation regarding the videos and everything. But here, this is what I'll do. I'll kind of come through here.
Give us a little demo back there.
Just real quick.
I can't really play because it's going to actually distort because of I didn't hook into my preamp or my phone.
Okay.
So I just hooked in, but I can actually show you just a quick little vibe of everything. So
I feel like I'm there. I feel like we're both there with
so cool.
Exactly. So basically, this whole side is a basic kick drum, snare drum, rack tom, and a floor tom is all the way off to the side. So that's the whole thing here. So I can play all these drums. I have the pads that go here. I've been programming for the 9/11 show, obviously. But I'll play the pads and everything. Ableton goes over here, goes on the right here. And then what I do is sometimes I play seated, sometimes I play standing over here. And then when I play standing, I rock out over here. Yeah. And I'll have a whole second rig here, right? But I can still play the seated kit, and I can play the standing kit seated. So everything is reachable either way. And then I go back here and I can play behind, like.
Oh my God.
Or I can play backwards like that. Microphone is right here for the actual, hyping crowd and then shout outs and the whole thing, so. That's
now, how many?
The whole vibe. So. Yeah.
Roughly between cymbals and pads and actual drum, how many things do you have back there that you could hit?
Oh God!
You never counted before.
6 and 7, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. I think it's about 30. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like just
Wow.
Besides the pads are separate, obviously.
But you are so, again, you've got so many different layers and elements to you, because you're more than just a drummer. You are a showman.
Yes.
In addition to all of that, in addition to the DJ, in addition to all of that, you know how to put on a show, like drumming behind you. That is so, oh my God.
It's crazy. But the biggest clincher that I found with any artist, and this is going to get a little deep too, is not only production and songwriting and everything, but there's an element of the depth at which we are the most human. I'm going to go here. So we've all dealt with the trauma and the intensity of COVID. We've dealt with, heartbreaks. We've dealt with, losses. We've dealt with positivity. We've dealt with the highest highs, the lowest lows. And I feel like the best artists that I look up to have been able to be a conduit, someone who can take a lyric, take an idea, take something and put it together in a package that is really deep for people to grab onto. And one of the things that I made sure to do in every song of mine, there's a lyric that you can grab. Get tough like Rocky. Not alone is our love is up. Our destiny is true love in the end. And that is such a poignant lyric for everyone to do. I made it into a jewelry line, so there's a bunch of different pieces of jewelry with that phrase on it. Get tough as tank tops and athletic wear and tops and yoga and shoes and all that stuff. And every song has its own little hook. And there's always a musical hook. There's always a lyrical hook. There's always a visual hook of me, the way that I play live. There's always a visual hook, for each music video that I put together that's really unique and different. So everything, and I do all my own video, and I cut it, and I film it, and I record it. Like there's a song called 3-Page Letter with Jerome Bell from American Idol and The Voice, and that's about loss and heartbreak. And I literally went around New York City with an iPhone, literally just my iPhone, and I filmed a ton of different time lapses all across the city.
Wow.
And I pieced it together using a tripod, and what I did is I stood in the frame, and it was regular motion. And then when you actually speed everything up, I put myself out of the frame and I let it go onto the time lapse. And then it looks like everything around me is speeding up.
Wow.
Because if you're in loss or heartbreak, every second feels like an eternity.
Exactly.
But if you're happy, the entire world flies by and it's like that. So I showed that in that video. Like each video, each musical statement is there's always a lot of different layers to everything I do. And it syncs up with everything in the whole record. Not Alone is about community, love, amongst, your friends and family and the people who support you. And in that video, I put every one of my friends and all the people that were really important to me over the past 3 years, they're all represented in the video. And it's really personal. There's like a lot of,
tribute to them.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, these are the things that I feel like separate, some guy who just presses play or just a good artist live who can do crazy stuff with real depth. And I think that's what we're missing in some music is some real depth to make sure that we make it. I mean, I have songs that sound like The Weeknd. I have songs that sound like Avicii. I have songs that sound like sports anthems, things like that. But I want to make sure that they're grabbing onto modern
there's that
production.
hook that you can
There's a hook.
sink
Yep.
into. Can you talk about your album Crystal Ceiling? That was about survival and struggle. Where were you mentally at that time? And you worked with Belle.
Bella D. Yeah, Bella D. Wow, you found that good one. So that's the first record that I put my Drumageddon name on. So it's actually her record, but I put my Drumageddon name on it because I basically wrote, recorded, and produced the whole record as Drumageddon. So I could have gone full EDM pop with it, but I looked at her and I saw her, and I mean, I grew up with her. She was, she went to my same high school, my same college and everything.
Friend. Wow.
Amazing, talented, awesome artist and everything, great singer. And we took her entire life story and we got into the depth of it and all the loss, all the heartbreak, all the positivity, all the happiness and everything. And we basically wrote an entire record where I did all the production, all the lyrics and everything with her. And it's her story shown through, it's almost like a comic book character. In fact, we made a comic book for it. So there's a comic book with her as the protagonist, and I'm also in it, with crazy glistening abs, of course, right?
Of course.
Because that exists, right? No, not for me. But But no, it has a story. It's a concept record, and every song stands alone like a regular song, but it's about overcoming adversity. Again, it's the same similar theme. Like a song is called Invincible. You know, once you've overcome everything, you can actually feel like you are invincible.
Right.
Like you have gotten through all the trauma, whatever, all the tribulations, you can be invincible. Another song is called Save Me. It's early on, where she's like reaching out saying, hey, please let me, please come and save me. I need a hero. But the actual reality is that she needed to be the hero to save herself. And that's what she realizes by the end, and that's how she saves herself. So there's a comic book out that's out with Bella D. And yeah, it was just crazy. And I use, again, like a whole 30, 40 musicians. There's full orchestra on the record. You know, all
like
electronics, and then there's me doing everything like usual.
It's like a rock opera.
It's basically a rock concept record, but it sounds modern, so it doesn't have dialogue between or whatever. It's just like the Who's Tommy almost,
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the first really big record that I did as drumming. And the next record I did was Avalona, which is Dina Fanai and Bob Kinkle from Trans-Siberian Orchestra and Foreigner. Mm-hmm. And Bob Kinkle actually is one of the founders of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And he wrote all those hits and everything, and it's really cool. So I grew up listening to that music, and I love the Christmas tunes that they do, the Rock Christmas. It was surreal to hear his piano and hear Dita's voice and basically just go through the whole process. And that's where I took the Drumageddon songwriting, production, and arrangement to the next level. And I wound up mixing that whole record, which I don't normally do. I normally would send it out and have, okay, you can have new ears. Mm-hmm. If you're doing electronic music based, your sound is your signature. Needs to be put into the mix in a very specific way to be modern and still be identifiable. So with Melody, you can hear it. With Avalona, you can hear it. And then obviously with my whole record, you hear it. And I've had, some of my friends, one guy mixed and worked with Rihanna on all of her hits. And another guy did Dua Lipa and The Weeknd and Justin Bieber. And they're all like, yeah, you have a very identifiable, modern, cool sound. Yeah. And we can't easily do that. It would take us a long time to try to copy it because you have a thing. Just like a vocal, you're like, oh my God, that's Lady Gaga. Oh my God, that's Madonna.
It has to be that personal.
Yeah.
It has to be that personal.
Again, you're watching If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss, and our amazing guest, Charlie Z, who I really want to have back on another time. Definitely. You are fascinating. You are incredible. You are brilliant. I'm so impressed with you. And I hate to cut this off, but I just want to remind you that you go on the Jimmy Star.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do want to say one other thing, though. So check this out. The 9/11 benefit Saturday, roomy event space, Soho Johnny Presents. It's going to be gigantic. It's amazing. Please get tickets. Go to all the socials. Get them there. At Drumageddon, DRMAGDN. Every single social. TikTok, Spotify. It's a website, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. But we also just found out we fully, completely sold out of our 9/10 Thursday fashion show. We're doing it at Soho Innovative Studios at 53 Wooster Street, NYC, but we just sold out 300 tickets.
Yes.
And it's crazy. We have everyone coming to that too now. So it's like, oh my God. And we're performing there, me and Shitty Princess. We're showing our clothing lines. It's going to be crazy. So everything is all coming together, and it's really, really, really cool and humbling.
I cannot tell you.
Oh my God, Charlie. Thank you so much for today. I have one quick question. Do you sleep?
Nope. I was up to 6 or 7 in the morning just doing all the emails for everything, and naps here and there is all I need. I'm one of those guys.
You're good.
I love it. Okay. Well, Charlie Z, I cannot tell you how happy I am for you and how proud I am of you. You're finding your flow. You're in your flow. You're doing what you're supposed to do in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And we're just so happy and so proud of you.
Thank you guys.
Bring it around to everybody else, which is what we all have to do.
That's it. Positivity all around, and you guys are the best. Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to hang out with you guys on 9/11. It's going to be amazing. It's everyone. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.